day, we're going to see how a young guy dazzles on the piano and gets a standing ovation. The crowd was totally captivated by the fiery performance, and 1900 couldn't help but clap for his musical talent. In 1900's mind, winning or losing didn't matter. What mattered was if music could leave a timeless memory instantly. Returning to the piano, he touched the keys with little fingers, reinterpreting the black pianist's tune and altering a few notes freely. The piece turned poignant, but the audience doubted 1900's skill. His buddy Max seemed to see his own impending doom, but the black pianist looked deadly serious, realizing this opponent was no lightweight. Subtitle: Not wanting to endure being looked down upon any further, he decided to put an immediate end to this game. The black pianist's performance was like a tempestuous storm, with each note brimming with abundant emotion and great exuberance. His hand movements flowed effortlessly, dazzling. As 1900 watched, he suddenly realized the black pianist aimed to vanish from the spotlight on stage, so after finishing, 1900 borrowed a cigarette from Max and copied his moves. He lifted the cigarette up high, displaying it proudly to everyone present, and then placed it on the piano with a confident flair. A sweat trickled down 1900's forehead. The audience was drawn in by his performance. They held their breath as if afraid to miss a beat. This piece usually required 4 hands, but 1900 dared to take it. The audience's eyes were glued to the piano, wide open in disbelief as if witnessing an unbelievable magic trick. They stared at the cigarette and the piano, trying to sync their fingers to 1900's beat. But they soon realized this was an impossible challenge, and their wine glasses quarreled with gravity, shattering everywhere. 1900's hands danced across the keys like a blur, as if 4 hands were playing at once. This stunning skill overturned everyone's views, making strings clear. The music was both deep and passionate, striking a chord in everyone's heart, as if time stopped at that moment. After the first song ended, the place fell silent, as if the wind itself held its breath. All were stunned by the soul-stirring performance. 1900 picked up that cigarette. Subtitles. He delicately positioned it atop the strings, and to everyone's astonishment, it miraculously lit up, leaving the entire audience completely dumbstruck, which was then swiftly followed by a wave of thunderous applause. Even the black pianist had to admit defeat, losing not just the competition, but also his former arrogance. Afterwards, the black pianist confined himself to his room, lost in sorrow and self-reflection, packing hastily only when the ship docked. What a tragedy! Yet in this world of music and ocean, 1900's existence was an unsolved mystery. Nobody knew where he came from or how he learned to play. He had no prominent background, and no one witnessed his growth. That's how genius appears. Many thought him a tycoon's illegitimate son, but this didn't match his talent. Actually, 1900 was abandoned. During the rapid economic boom in America, countless European immigrants flocked to New York in search of their fortune. Inside the ship, Danny, a black man, seemed unaware of the outside clamor, searching quietly in the luxurious upper cabin. He strained to find treasures left behind in the opulence, thinking he would find nothing today, until he looked up. There, quietly laying on the piano, he found a baby. It was no joke, and Danny looked around to see no one else. A wave of compassion surged in his heart, and without hesitation, he took the child back to his warm room. Friends advised him to send the baby to an orphanage, as the noisy place isn't fit for a child. Perhaps this was fate's arrangement, igniting a thought he had never had before. He decided to adopt this abandoned baby. Although Danny wasn't highly educated, he wanted to give the child a catchy name, but the baby burst into tears at the sound of it. The child seemed to protest such an identity, yet with Danny and his friends' loving care, 1900 gradually grew up. Danny occasionally taught 1900 via newspapers, hoping he'd harness knowledge's power, and 1900 always made Danny laugh. He was bursting with curiosity, full of questions about the outside world, saying, "Mom, why is Mom a horse?" "Mom is a horse. She's definitely a horse." That's just how it is. You know, Mom's the best horse, and the ship's doctors, chefs, waiters love 1900 like family. Even the usually serious captain was very fond of this quirky kid, not minding his antics at all. Whenever 1900 caused chaos in the kitchen, the captain would timely appear before him, saying, 1900, how many times have I told you? Stop doing that, especially hiding your shoe sneaky style. 1900's innocent pranks always managed to infuriate the captain. The captain immediately complained to Danny about his son's antics, like an innocent father lamenting, "You better not hide this kid from me. I won't let you off easily." But no matter what, he was still a good dad. 1900 never set foot on land, his existence hidden by sea, lacking birth certificate or passport. Like a ghost drifting in the ship's belly, he often peered through a little window at the stormy waves outside. To him, the ocean was no longer a symbol of the unknown and fear, but a rocking cradle filled with warmth and love. Danny worried about him being sent to an orphanage, so he spun a tale, telling 1900 that the orphanage was a big prison. Subtitles: that place was holding some adults who had no children of their own, even described using exaggerated metaphors. He just said this to show 1900 it was the safest place. This lie rooted deeply in 1900's heart, making him determined to stay with Danny forever.